Oh, nah, nah. What's my name? Oh, nah, nah. What's my name? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. What y'all doing on Masters Thursday? What y'all doing on Masters Thursday? Pretty uneventful so far, Masters Thursday. In a good way, though. I mean, we've had some things. Maybe you've had a guy who's gotten like 2 birdies today, right? But I like when the course plays hard, right? It sets up for a very exciting Friday, cut day, moving day, all that type of stuff. And then obviously your closing round on Sunday. How y'all doing? Let me know if you're in the chat right now. What y'all up to? 7-game slate. These NBA slates, they got to shrink. They really got to shrink. I mean, we're just getting 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like these size slates. I mean, maybe not 12, but these size slates, they got to shrink. They got to chill. Y'all got to chill with them slate sizes, yo. So 7-game slate. I mean, we can talk some haircut that I got going on right now. It's popping. It's bopping. We can talk some look at that fucking clean. We can also talk some Masters round 1 / looking into round 2 with some of the strokes gain splits to see what's up in the showdown streets. I'm definitely going to be playing some Masters showdown streets when we know we got them big old contests. What's good? Dan says, South Bag of Donuts, what's your thoughts on the small forward position today? I mean, small forward to me today, it looks loaded. I mean, you got Middleton without Giannis, right? It looks loaded. You got now Joe Ingles without a Jordan Clarkson, who doesn't look fantastic, but Butler all the way up to Luka and Kawhi. Like, small forward is loaded today. It's not normally a position that is loaded, but small forward looks loaded. Like, you have Diallo and Kendrick Williams, depending on what happens with those teams, and some injury reports on Lou Dort and Baisley if he's going to maybe pop up in return today. So, yeah, small forward looks like a very nice position. You ended up losing Bembry, but that's fine, right? Bembry going to be suspended a game. Yeah, small forward looks loaded. I mean, the slate looks good. The slate, there's value everywhere. There's good spots to be getting leveraged everywhere in the slate. So it looks good to me. The slate looks very, very good. I like it. Obviously, people are going to be hopping on Bobby Portis and Siakam and Middleton and Malachi Flynn. Like, that's where a lot of the quote-unquote chalk will be today. But yeah, I think there's good opportunities with Chris Boucher ceiling on a 7-game slate. I think there's good opportunities with guys when you start to go lower down and find really low-owned guys like a probably Jimmy Butler today, like a probably Damian Lillard today. Lots of options on this slate. What's up, Sal Corey? What's going on, boss man? How you doing? I want to start building some lineups out. I don't think I have a picture for anybody on the screen right now. That's big sad. Who's this? Is this guy going to work? Oh, yeah, I guess Middleton will work. Why not? He's the cover boy anyways, but why not? Throw him up on the screen. Put him in this little box. Picture perfect. Look at that. All right, yeah. So I'm going to build some lineups out. Any questions, let me know for this 7-game slate. I'm sure a lot of people are watching the Masters. Your boy's got the Masters up on my screen right now. We've been watching the Masters all day, but it's starting, I mean, the actual big groups are out there now, but starting to wind down a little bit. Let's just put it in with no randomness. Let's see what we end up getting in here. What's poppin', Sal? Happy Masters. You catch any golf today? Max, what's going on, boss man? Yeah, I caught some golf. Caught a good amount of golf. I mean, it's basically been on outside of when I went to get a haircut and worked out and things like that. Like, when I've been home, it's been on my laptop or on my TV. So, yeah, we'd be chilling. We'd be watching golf. Small forward is Aaron fucking Rodgers, somebody says. What's the word, Sal? What's going on, William Lewis? Peter, what's going on, boss man? Burger and Day are horrible for me. That's no good. Burger and Day are horrible for you. I mean, it's so early, right? I mean, as long as you're not plus 12, you're fine. It's so early. You have all day tomorrow. If you're plus 6 or better, you're live for tomorrow. Like, there's a chance that the cut line can be, if it plays like plus 2, right? So you're more than live. I mean, weather conditions today was supposed to be the nicest day, and it seems like them greens are playing real tough. Just ask Bernard Wiesberger, putting it into the fucking drip, into the lake, into the little old water. Yeah, not great. If no Kristoff, should I go Luka and Nanias or Dame and Wade while already having Hardenstein? I assume you mean Luka. I mean, I'd go. Those bolts sound disgusting, my man. I'd go Dame side. So hard to think about basketball when watching the Masters. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Like, I don't know how long. I mean, depending on how many questions come in, I don't know how long I'm going to stay live today. Just because, I mean, the Masters is closing up, but yeah, it's tough. It's tough to want to prioritize NBA DFS tonight when I got a lot on stakes in the Masters, but this round seems to be not over. I mean, there's still a good amount of golf still going, but obviously piping down a little bit. I got to actually put my favorites together. My man Rose now. Did Rose just go? Is he putting on a streak? Yeah, Rose. Damn. Justin Rose popping off on the back nine. $7,200 Justin Rose popping off right now. Sheesh. Sheesh. What's going on, Tim? How you doing? Yo. What's the word of the day or the player of the day? So let me update these projections. The player of the day today. So if I go point per dollar rankings today, Isaiah Hardenstein still looks fantastic to me. I don't know how his prize picks prop is so low. Hardenstein looks fantastic. Bobby Portis after that's going to be not a lock because of the ownership, but, Bobby Portis, Malachi Flynn, there's only 8 bodies active for Toronto tonight, so wheels up for Malachi Flynn and Pascal Siakam and Chris Boucher. Wheels up. Yo, optimals, let's get it. My man Will Meyer in the chat, fiending for some optimal lineups. So let me run this. Let's run this with no rules or anything and then see what we end up getting. What do you suggest for center on SuperDraft in the NBA, says Dave Jones. Dave, what's going on, boss man? Center in SuperDraft today. So top center options from SuperDraft today for me. Honestly, like Mason Plumlee if he plays, Rudy Gobert. Center's a pretty weak position. So if we look at the overall, Mason Plumlee with the multipliers being high on Holmes, like Rashawn Holmes 1.4x is actually pretty well in play. So Zubac. So center, none of them look that good. So it comes down to the multipliers. Funny how I honestly don't know how much about golf yet. I'm currently in 3rd place in that contest you put out south. Nice man. Nice job, Jay. There you go. Yeah, it's real early. Like I don't think I've opened up DraftKings yet to look at my golfers. It's just really early. So we'll have to see. Like tomorrow when the sweat starts to come on, that's when I'll look. Saturdays, you get some movement to be happening, so it actually gets really fun. And then obviously Sunday I'll be looking at my phone. But Thursday, I've been obviously tracking the leaderboard, like in terms of like the Masters leaderboard like this. That phone looks slick. That phone looks slick when it comes up on the camera. Been tracking the Masters leaderboard, but I haven't been looking at DraftKings at all yet. Or SuperDraft, like the contest you're saying. Yeah, I don't know how many people officially got in it. I think it was like 270 something. So not bad. In a 1,000-person contest, not bad. Funky fresh cut, Sal. Thanks, boss man. It's feeling good. It's feeling slick. Just in time for a nice little stand-up comedy show I'm going to be going to tomorrow. Mr. Andrew Schultz, can't wait. You think Justin Rose can keep this play up? He's only like 3% on. Do I think he can keep the play up? I mean, he's gotten hot on the last 5 holes, so let's actually see how he's doing it. I'd be curious to seeing how, it's not going to be updated fully yet, but I'm curious to be seeing how Justin Rose is currently doing this. So I'll look at the strokes gained. If he's doing it putting, no, I don't think he can keep it up. If he's doing it with his irons and his ball striking is actually dialed in, yeah, he can keep it up. Because then putting can actually come his way. But I'll look at that. I love how it's practically a totally different course from when they played it like 5 months ago. Just shows how amazing Augusta really is. Yeah, it's totally different. Those greens complexes are nuts. Is Fox to get different from Luka tonight? Do you want to go Fox to get different from Luka tonight was the question that I was just asked. Yeah, there's like so many different guys that you can insert for Fox name. Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, right? You can insert so many guys' names. I'd rather go to Kawhi. I'd rather go to Jimmy Butler over Fox. But I don't have like a strong stance on any of those. Is Gary Trent Jr. a good play? Borderline play. What's up, Sal? Rashawn Holmes a sneaky play today? Not for me, but he's decent. He's a decent under candidate, but I won't be going there because of the blocks upside on prize picks. Rashawn Holmes on SuperDraft would be probably the best spot to be getting him just because there's no clear-cut centers over on SuperDraft with those multipliers today. Not really a guy that I'm targeting on the DraftKings. So these are going to be very highly owned cash lineups as of this recording, 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes before lock. So these are the types of lineups that you're going to be seeing right now. This is before I put any rules in place. So obviously things are going to change. I'm looking up what's happening with Justin Rose in terms of what he's doing right now. Yeah, we don't have any of the strokes gained data. Hopefully we have it a little bit. Actually, we're not going to get any of it, right? We probably won't get any of it unless we can dive into the Masters app itself. We're not going to get any of it. The Masters doesn't disclose that data. So that's the issue with trying to cover Showdown, I guess. Let's see if we can try and find it somewhere, though. Let's see if Fantasy National has it. I'm pretty sure we don't get that data outside of this total strokes gain because that's pretty easy to add up. So that sucks in tournament stats. Let's see. Maybe Fantasy National's got the plug. No live leaderboards. That sucks. Yeah, so that's pretty hard to try and play. So these are going to be basically like cash lineups. Hey, Sal, thank you for everything you do. Who are some low-owned pivots who can smash tonight? What's going on, boss man? Yeah, so I mean, it depends on the range that you're looking for. Like, what salary range are you looking for like a low-owned pivot tonight, right? Like, I think Stanley Johnson, he's not going to smash, but he's $30,000 flat. Like, I have Stanley Johnson grading out as a really good play. Doesn't seem to be picking up much ownership yet. Hamidou Diallo is definitely low-owned, who could smash right around $5,100, I believe. So that's an upside play. Andre Drummond at $6,500. If he gets full minutes, that is a smash type of a play. It's just that there's a big question around his minutes tonight. And then guys like Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, they're going to be all around like 10, 12% owned, but I don't think he's going to be low owned. Chris Boucher, like I think he'll be 15, 16% owned, but he's probably the guy that like who's going to be a lot lower owned than he should be is the way that I'll say that. So Chris Boucher for me is going to be somebody that's going to be massively lower owned than he should be. That I like a lot. My guy Sal, salutes from Peru. Soon I will be in Texas. Nice, Jam. Love to hear that. What's up, Sal? Rashawn Holmes, a sneaky play today? I don't think so. What's going on, Master Yoda Sal? Which of these players from Utah Portland game should be in my starting lineup? Should be in my SP? I don't know what my SP means, my man. What about prize picks? SPs? Yeah, man. I mean, I'll lean the over on Damian Lillard on prize picks, but that's about it. So there's going to be some pretty popular builds tonight. Yo, Sal, nice cut. Appreciate that, man. Gary Trent or Boucher? Boucher, it's not even close. What's going on, Sal? Lost in DK last night, made up for it in prize picks. Yeah, a lot of people seem to have success in prize picks last night. Love to hear it. Sal, my dude. Nice line in the fade, bro. No questions. Just giving the love. Miz, what's up, boss, man? How you doing today? Hey, Sal, sorry I'm late, but did you talk about prize picks? No. We'll be talking about that maybe a couple minutes. Boban tonight? No, I mean, I'm currently projecting in Porzingis. I didn't see any news. Like, I know it's a back-to-back. The news come out on Porzingis yet. I mean, I'm very much aware that news might come out for Porzingis, but no news has come out yet. Like, I know this guy doesn't play every back-to-back, but he's actually played in some back-to-backs this year. His irons are fire right now on Justin Rose. Yeah, I mean, that's something that we can, like, I guess you can pick that up from, like, one or two holes, so I'm sure he's getting strokes there. It's just a matter of, like, I'd actually like to see it. Thoughts on Lillard and Gobert? Thanks. Both in players' pools for me. Neither are, like, strong priorities. So now I'm going to go through them and start to build some lineups where we start to add 3 uniques. Let's put in a lot of randomness. Let's let that build out. So we can look at some prize pick stuff. Prize pick sponsors this show if you want to check them out. It's linked down below. A lot of people were winning last night. Like to see it. Somebody won a couple $100, $500 Ruskies, turned $100 into $600. Somebody was commenting on the YouTube video. So if you want to check it out, it just simplifies the way you play DFS. You just take the over-under. It's like player props, but we can take them on fantasy points. I actually ended up keying in on a bunch of them. But the prize picks that I think are the best options right now, use the code SAL. It's linked down below. Encourage you to check it out. The ones that I think are the best options that are probably going to see movements on their player props, this one, it makes no sense. So let me find Isaiah Hardenstein. So I have Isaiah Hardenstein at 29 fantasy points today. He's at 21. As a center that, if anything, it's only going to be better for him because you get an extra point with blocks. So I have Hardenstein at 29 fantasy points. I don't know why he's only at 21. I don't know what I'm missing here. Even if Kevin Love was to play full minutes, it's still. Have any Theo Vaughn tonight? He's a weird DFS player. Yeah, I'm not really that big on him. PJ or Drew Holiday today? Give me Drew Holiday. What do you think will be the cut line? Way too soon to tell. Way too soon to tell. We won't know the cut line until the final. I mean, we'll know like the 1 or 2 spots will be +1 or +2. Will be even or +1. Like we'll know that tomorrow with I don't know, like 10 dudes still in the course, but we won't even be able to come close. If I had to guess, I would say +2, but I have no actual. Let me see this. No, like strong feeling towards that. So Isaiah Hardenstein, the over is an absolute smash. So there's a good amount of centers that I like today. So Isaiah Hardenstein, Bobby Portis for whatever reason is only, I believe, at 28. So I took the over on Bobby Portis. So right now, one that I placed was Bobby Portis and Isaiah Hardenstein over, and then I placed Isaiah Hardenstein as he's my top option. Pretty by far. I placed him with, which is a more risky option that we can get to right now, Andre Drummond. I have Drummond at 33 fantasy points today. Again, blocks only get better. But the problem is, I mean, this man just like broke his toenail the other day, so we have to see what ends up happening minutes-wise. I only have Drummond at like 27 minutes. So as long as he's playing decent minutes, like if they don't tell us he's on a minutes limit, I would expect 25-plus minutes, and there's a real chance at 30-plus today. Tougher matchup versus Bam, sure, but those are my 3 guys that I like the most. I've got 10 prize picks starred, but those are the ones that I like the most. Do you think Taurean Prince will get a lot of ownership today? Taurean Prince getting ownership today? No. I do not think he'll get a lot. I mean, what's a lot? Like 10%? Sure. 10% on a 7-game slate? Sure. I think you can get that. So now let's see what these lineups start to do if we put in some randomness. So now this is what I like seeing this, right? So I like seeing Diallo, who I think is a nice low-owned option today. I like seeing Boucher, who's not going to be low-owned, but he's not going to be as highly owned as he should be today. So these are some options that I'd actually like to see. I don't think Paul George and Chris Boucher will be in the same category, although Boucher to me has a much higher ceiling of guys who won't be as highly owned as they should be today. So you get 2 middling owned guys. You get Diallo, who's going to be low owned, and now you start to have a unique lineup in smaller field events. Not bad. Not bad. You think Drew Holiday steals the show with no Giannis from Middleton? Last time he burned me because I went with Middleton. I like them both. I like Middleton more, but I like them both for sure. What's going on, Cameron? How you doing, boss man? John, what's up? What's up? Also, I'm guessing we're building more balanced lineups tonight with the studs absent. Yeah, there's no studs in the slate, my man. So you got that right. There's just no studs in the slate tonight. I mean, like you have Luka. If Porzingis is out, that looks a little bit more appealing. But other than that, we really have no studs in the slate with Giannis doubtful. Obviously, no LeBron, right? Kevin Love minutes projection for you today. Chase, what's going on, boss man? Yeah, so Kevin Love for me today, if I pull up Cleveland. So for me, Kevin Love is at a 26 minutes limit projection, whatever you want to call it. And I have him in a player pool right now. Thoughts on Buddy Hield as a pivot to Gary Trent? Yeah, I mean, they're the same fucking player. They're going to score 28 to 30 fantasy points the far majority of the times that they're out there. They don't have that wide of a difference. They're never the priority options on their team. I guess I would say I don't know how much of a pivot you're getting there. Like, Gary Trent's not going to be owned today. So, I mean, I would say that, like, Gary Trent might be like 8% owned. Buddy Hield might be like 8% owned. Like, I think they're going to be the same owned. I don't think either of them will pick up ownership. Neither of them look like great plays for low ownership. If they're the last guy in your lineup, yeah, they're not terrible. They both project out as just, like, dudes for me today. Like, they don't look god-awful. They don't look good. They're just kind of there. Cheap options around the 4K for a forward. Yeah, Stanley Johnson's 3K flat, and for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like he's going to pick up much ownership. So I like that. I like Stanley Johnson at 3K flat. Other than that, like, you have other punt options like Giannis's brother at 3K flat. I prefer Stanley Johnson. Torian Prince is $4,100 around that forward position. That's about it, because then you have some centers like Royce O'Neal's $4,000 flat. Then you have some like centers who are like Hassan Whiteside and backups like Derek Favors. But yeah, I think Stanley Johnson, I don't have him projecting out for a lot, but if the ownership's going to stay low and they only have 8 bodies out there, and even if he doesn't start, I would expect mid-20s a minutes for a 3K flat guy. It's not bad. It is not bad by any means. My man Rick Radar commented on the live stream right now. When it's $1 Ruskies, y'all. We'd love to see it. Vooch or Gobert with the savings. Give me, I'll take Vooch's upside. Portis or Hammerstein. Yeah, if I had to pick one of those guys, I think I'm still going to go with Bobby Portis. The ownership is going to be there on him, but it's not like Isaiah Hardenstein is going to be low owned, right? Hardenstein will pick up 20% ownership. Portis will pick up 30%. Portis is just way more secure play because Portis is likely going to start, where I expect Hardenstein to come off the bench. Kawhi or Paul George? Give me Kawhi. What the fuck are we doing with the Pistons tonight? Playing Hayes, Bay, Allington, etc. is not as easy to stomach. Oh, yeah, I don't really want them. I mean, I have Detroit. Like, it depends on what happens with Mason Plumlee if he plays. I like Plumlee. I like Diallo. I like Josh Jackson. Not really big on Sadiq Bey. Don't have any interest in playing Ellington. Only have him at 14 minutes. Don't have any interest in, who else did you say? Yeah, Sadiq Bey, not much interest. Hayes, yeah, not. I mean, Hayes is 3,200. That's the only reason why he's an interest. But now we got more value to open up, right? Now we know that Toronto is only going to run 8 guys out there, since the guard that they signed, Gillespie, is not playing. George or Kawhi on SuperDraft, asks Michael Bolin. Michael Bolin. Yeah, if you guys want to check out the SuperDraft projections, use the optimizer that we had on the screen. I'll pull it back up on the screen. You can check it all out. I'll link it right now in the description. Check all that stuff out on Patreon. Get into the Discord, chat it up. Chill out, relax, max all cool. Playing some b-ball up by my school when a couple of guys who were up to no good, they started making trouble in my neighborhood. I can't wait for this comedy show tomorrow, yo. Comedy is like, I mean, comedy might be like one of the best holistic medicines out there that's not hyped up as a medicine. I know this isn't basketball related, but a Chicago White Sox game going to play? My man, I could not even tell you. I haven't looked at a thing for baseball outside of the projections that I do. I haven't looked at news for baseball in like 2 or 3 days. Don't call him Giannis's little bro. Put some respect on that man's name. I mean, it's just easier to say Giannis's little brother. There's no disrespect. That's what he is. I don't even know if he's his little brother, to be honest. All right, what was I just about to do? Yeah, let's pull up these. The SuperDraft projection somebody asked about. Yeah. Are you fine with getting 2 bigs from Cleveland and Love and Hardenstein and Wade? Yeah, I could have 2 of those, yeah. So what's going on, my dude? Just finished a 13-hour shift, and let me tell you, it sucked. Oh, no. I need to hit some prize picks to get back in the green. Yeah, I think that Drummond, Harden, and Porzingis on the overs look like the best options on prize picks. Isaiah Harden at over 21. I mean, I don't know how that's going to stay at over 21. If it stays at over 21, it's because people are watching the Masters, which makes a lot of sense. The Masters are a lot of fun. MMA's back. Maybe watching some of that content today with it coming out. But yeah, Isaiah Harden over 21. Bobby Portis over 28. I've got 10 prize picks listed down that these are the 3 that I've actually taken action on. Still waiting to see what happens with Porzingis, maybe some other bodies. Drummond over 28. But there's a lot of good ones out there. Like even Chris Boucher over 29. Like there's a lot of good ones today. So the over... So George or Kawhi on prize picks. So here's some other different options. Like now you're going to get Jimmy Butler to make your lineups different. Norman Powell to an extent. Garland to an extent. So this is a pretty differentiated lineup, which has a lot of upside in my opinion. So do I want George or Kawhi over on prize picks today? I currently have Kawhi as the better play. Kawhi ranks out as my 5th overall prize picks. You're getting 20% bonus points. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I bet 64 in DraftKings MLB single entry showdown last night. Won 423. Thank you, Yankees Orioles. There you go, man. There you go. Will Gobert feast on Cantor if Yusuf Nurkic is out? Kind of hope Nurkic is out so we can get some Cantor love. I mean, Cantor's had a lot of success. I don't think he's going to feast on him, Gobert. Gobert's just not playing big minutes. Like, for Gobert to actually feast, he needs 34, 35 minutes. They're not doing that this year. You're lucky if you get 32 out of him. But, I mean, Cantor this year, it doesn't matter who he's going up against. It could be Vooch. It could be Embiid. It could be Gobert, who he's faced multiple times. He has success. So if we can get Nurkic out of there, Cantor opens up as a really nice play today. Stewart, if Plumlee is out, correct, assuming he starts. Vooch and Anunoby are healed and Lillard. Single entry and trying to get different today, says my man Andrew Guerrero. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, boss man? How's your Thursday? How's everybody Thursday today? What y'all doing on Masters Thursday? What y'all doing today? Vooch and Anunoby or healed and Lillard. Give me Vooch and Anunoby. Single entry trying to get different? Yeah, Vooch and Anunoby. Either way, you'll be different there, though. Portis and Harden okay together on SuperDraft tonight. I don't really know if you want to go there in SuperDraft. Like, they're good DraftKings plays. Doesn't mean that they're good SuperDraft plays. Like, Hartenstein for me on SuperDraft is my... I mean, I guess he's okay. He's got the high multiplier. Yeah, they're okay together. But Hartenstein doesn't, like, stand out as a top center option. Like, he would be, like, my 4th, 5th option. So I guess it's okay, yeah. Portis looks fine. 1.6x is clearly good for Bobby Portis' upside. Schultz in Raleigh, says OG Steve Daniels. Yeah. I think he's starting this tour here. I really don't know what to expect. I know Andrew Schultz does crowd work. That's like a lot of his shows, but I don't know if he's doing straight stand-up or just crowd work. So it shall be a surprise. If it's crowd work, I hope I get made fun of. I love it. Somebody says, damn, Bryson, what do you do? Who are you going to in the comedy show? I'm going to see Andrew Schultz. Vooch or Butler in utility spot today. I'll take Butler. Kawhi or Pascal Siakam? Siakam. Stewart and T. Cook together, okay combination with Grant out and Plumlee questionable. I don't want anything to do with Tyler Cook right now. Yeah, that ain't it. I mean, if some other guys get ruled out, maybe. Put some respect on that man's name in his 10 minutes, 3 points per game, somebody says. Hey, Sal, Toronto is running bigs for the most part. What do you think about Vooch? I mean, is Toronto running bigs for the most part? I know that they have 8 bodies. So, like, Siakam's big. They have Baines, right? They have, obviously, Boucher. So, they're just forced into running bigs. You're right. There's 8 bodies. So, I guess they just have 3 bigger players. Siakam or Vooch? Siakam. What do you think about Vooch? Yeah, I mean, Vooch is going to play his minutes either way. Doesn't matter if they're running bigs or not. Like, Vooch isn't coming off the court and only playing 28 minutes. I think Vooch, I mean, he continues to be a guy who looks like he's just going to average like 1.35 fantasy points per minute on a good night in this offense in Chicago. I think Vooch is a fine option. Vooch is going to give you that lower owned upside today. He's in a player pool for me at 34. How many yeses do I have in him? He's not a yes, but I currently have 14 yeses as it stands tonight. 13 yeses, and I've got a lot of guys in a player pool. 46. I guess that's not a lot, and some guys that are like below 5% owned that don't get into that number that I just said. But 13 yeses tonight. Vooch isn't one of them, but solid. So I know you don't F with single entry DK. That's not true. Single entry DraftKings is like the thing that I preach for. But it's my bread and butter. Yeah, single entry and 3-max is like my favorite thing to play in DraftKings. Single entry 3-max small field contests. It's so competitive. Experts on DK, but MLB is full of fish. Any idea why this may be? Well, if you don't know how to stack an MLB, NBA is going to be the most competitive DFS sport. It's every single day. The people are so hardcore about it. Fantasy Labs has 200,000 followers, and people check that for updates. So it's going to be the most hardcore, most difficult. It's easier to project. MLB is all about correlation. It's all about stacking. So if people just try out MLB, if people are trying out MLB and they're not actually watching good content that's letting them know you need to be stacking or informing themselves about it by reading some MLB books that are out there for DFS and game theory, then you're not ever going to win. You're not ever going to win long term if you don't stack and take advantage of correlation, which gives you a much higher percentage chance of winning, right? So it might be less competitive because of that. There's just less information edge, although you need less information because there's not as much late news. It could also be a small sample size that you're looking at as well. You could be looking at you had success in a week over on MLB, and if you were to play the whole season out, you might have similar, not success as NBA, or you might have the similar success, or it could be just a small sample size that you're looking at. But I would say NBA is the most competitive DFS sport. It's more projectable. You can just play players. You don't have to worry about stacking and correlation, which can really throw a lot of people for a twist and confuse some people. And there's just so much content for it. Watching the Masters and getting smacked at work. Classic Thursday, my friend. We love it. Dame Dollar tonight. Yeah, he's fine with me. He's in a player pool. The NBA is competitive. I mean, on DK. Agreed. Taking a shot on Watanabe. Okay. Probably not really. Did Watanabe make my player pool? He was on the screen on this, but I don't think he actually made my actual player pool on Patreon right now. Yeah, Watanabe I only have for 16.2 points, so he grades out well, but he's going to be a no for me. I'll pull up Toronto's minutes. Watanabe is currently a no for me. Here's Toronto's miniosos on the screen right now. I have the overs on Harden, Steve Portis, and also Boucher. You able to give me one more you're leaning towards so I can make it a 4-player power play? I mean, I like Drummond, but there is some concerns there. Like, I like the over on Drummond. I also like the under on the opposite side on Harrell. The under on Harrell, but there's a risk there because Drummond plays less minutes, Harrell's playing more, so you can really get that one wrong. I like the over on Dame, 42. I have him at 45.5. Levine over 36. I have him at 39.3. Probably Dame if you don't want to take the risk on one of those Lakers bigs. Wifey cooking homemade Mexican tonight. Ooh, that sounds great, my man. What does that mean? Who's your favorite comedian? I love Carlos Meneses. I don't really know who that guy is that you just said. I don't know if I have a favorite. I just like comedy in general. I definitely know if I don't like somebody, but I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, obviously, guys like the chalk answers of Bill Burr and Chappelle, and those guys are great. Like, Bert Kreischer is fantastic. Tom Segura is fantastic. Tom Poppins is great. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Like, Kevin Hart is entertaining, but I don't think he's like as funny, like deep in your belly laughing. But he's still like I'll laugh. I like Kevin Hart, but those are like your chalk answers. But I think I've seen like almost every single stand-up that there is. I really like the Nate, whatever his name is, from Tennessee. I can never pronounce his last name. He came out with a new stand-up very recently. Got me back to watch his old stuff. But yeah, I've watched, I think, like every single stand-up that's out there. I've watched Dion's stand-ups. Fantastic. Eliza's stand-ups. Yeah. I think every single stand-up that's been on Netflix, I think I've seen at this point. And they're all really good. There's so many that I'm like not remembering. What's his name has really good. He has 2 actually stand-ups now. The guy who does like the Comedy Central show. He like escaped from whatever other country, seeked asylum. I can't remember his name. But he's got some really funny stand-ups, just the way that he can do impersonations. Happy Thursday. If you had to pick one between Middleton and Drew on SuperDraft, who would it be? I'll take Middleton. Is Plumlee in? Most recent news was that, I mean, I'm projecting him in. Most recent news, I don't think we have an update on it. Let's see. I don't believe we have an update on the Plumlee stuff. Mason Plumlee's still questionable. Do you do videos for MLB DFS? I used to 2 years ago. Then last year the pandemic hit. I don't plan on covering the MLB. I have Patreon projections. So I have projections for FanDuel, SuperDraft, and DraftKings for MLB every single day. But I don't plan to cover it moving forward. It's just really not a priority of mine. I'm kind of in this crossroads right now of what I want to do moving forward with the channel. If I want to, like, during these, like, obviously NFL is the big thing, but I'm in these crossroads of obviously PGA, NBA is what I'm covering right now. I don't think I want to take the channel into like one of these just, your stereotypical everything. Like, I don't want to have a 50-person company. Like, that sounds very stressful and not something that I actually want to aim for. So there's this in-between ground where I like covering the NBA, I like covering NFL and PGA. I just don't like covering the MLB. It's a fucking boring sport. It is a brutal sport to watch, unless it's the playoffs, which is even maybe then exciting. DFS for MLB, yeah, it's fun. I play MLB DFS, but covering it, logistics-wise, I don't think there's a lot of upside there from a business standpoint. It is not a sport that I think is going to grow. It is not a sport that I think I want to be covering personally. So there's some sort of balance that I think these next couple of months that I'll find. And in May, I'm going to start to do the NFL content, the NFL season-long content. But there's definitely something over the next couple of months that I'm going to be starting up that's a little bit different than what we usually do. What do you think about Love at 26 to 28 minutes? I have him at 26 minutes. He's in a player pool. Boucher, 5,700, or Siakam? If I had to pick one, I'd take Siakam. Actually, let me see where I'm at now, because I actually did a recent update, and Boucher got a lot better looking. So I'll take Chris Boucher over Siakam tonight if I had to pick one. Obviously, different price points, so I'm not saying he's projected for more points, but yeah. Makes sense. Thank you for the info. I love going pitchers. I've been consistent on MLB. I totally hear you. You the best, bro. Thank you. Yeah, Chase, keep it up, man. Keep it up for sure. Boucher or Drummond tonight, Boucher? What are your minutes for Cousins tonight? Yeah, not much at all. I gave Cousins 6 minutes of play tonight for the Clippers. Sal, is there any way that I can play Korean baseball? Last year I played for 2 months, did rather well. If they're not offering it on DraftKings anymore, then no. I'm sure their contract expired with them, just not enough interest. Toronto only has Flynn and Trent for guards tonight. We have Toronto's minutes up on the screen right here. Toronto. There you go. Toronto's minutes up on the screen. Yeah, I mean, they only have Flynn and Trent. OG Anunoby can handle the rock, but you're probably going to see Flynn play 36 minutes, right? Like, OG Anunoby is just as much of a guard as Gary Trent is. I would say that Gary Trent is more of a guard, but you can definitely handle the exact same way. But yeah, a lot of bigs. You're going to see some ball handling responsibilities for like Stanley Johnson tonight. Obviously, Siakam is a very good ball handling big as well. PG-13 is the best. There you go. Tacos, burritos, rice. Oh, you love to hear that. Do you like Trailer Park Boys? I actually really don't. My friends always used to watch that in high school. I really don't. I understand the humor there. I don't hate anybody that watches it. All my close friends watched it in high school. They loved it. I understand the humor that is there, the type of humor that it is, but I could just never get into it. I just felt like I was getting dumber watching it, which is like the whole point of the show, I guess. But I was just like, God damn, this is the same episode over and over and over again. Just Ricky, right? Bubbles. Ricky. Justin Rose, another birdie. Was he 5 under now? Just got in. What's up? What's going on, Derek? How you doing? I really like LeBron tonight. I think he'll be low owned. What are your thoughts on him? Yeah, I think LeBron, I can guarantee you he'll be low owned. Who is Tom Pop? What team? Tom Poppins. He's got 2 stand-ups, one from a really long time ago, one from like 2 years ago. Both fantastic. He's a totally different type of stand-up. He's not going to like, he's not really, I don't know how to describe it. He's kind of like the Nate guy, the Tennessee kid, Nate. But he's not going to be like, I don't know, Tom Poppins. Like, it's not dirty or anything like that. It's just like, he does such a good job at connecting with everybody. Like, he's hitting on points that everybody deals with. That is fucking hilarious the way that he puts it. And just his delivery. It's always in the delivery, right, with comedy. Joe Coy is funny. Yeah, I've seen Joe Coy's, he's the only one. Joe Coy, there's been like 2 or 3 guys on Netflix that I haven't seen. Joe Coy's been one of them. It's just, I guess I haven't given him enough time, but he's just not, I don't know. He just wasn't. I watched like a half of one of his and I just wasn't there on it. You heard of Theo Vaughn? Hilarious comedy. Theo Vaughn. I don't know. Let me see. Theo Vaughn. American stand-up comedian. Oh, wait, no. I this is so weird. I've never seen his stand-up, but I know he has a podcast, and Andrew Schultz was on that podcast like a week or 2 ago, so it came up on my my YouTube. Like, whenever I just eat food, I just watch like podcast clips or like MMA stuff. That's literally all I watch the last like 6 months to a year. I'll just watch like MMA, like Chael Sonnen, or just like MMA interviews on like the Ariel Helwani show with some fighters, or I'll just watch podcast clips, whether it's Andrew Schultz, probably not Rogan because I just listened to his podcast, but that type of stuff. And yeah, I've never seen anything with Theo Vaughn's comedy. I watched like a half hour of the podcast or 15 minutes. Would you project DiVincenzo for value? Not really. Would you project Stewart and Portis for about the same points? No, Portis is going to be better. Did Prince make your player pool? Torian Prince, I do not believe made a player pool for me. That's a lie. Torian Prince did make a player pool. He is projected for 21.15 points for me. I'll pull up Cleveland's minutes with their bigs still out today. Then we can pull up the optimizer and talk through some of that. I'm going to see Andrew Schultz April 24th at the West Palm, same night as Usman versus Masvidal. Can't wait. Oh, that sounds great. That sounds great, man. Yeah, I feel like he's probably going to go there afterwards if the fight's not on yet. Prize picks, Sal. Yeah, we talked about prize picks a little bit earlier, but we can go back to them quickly. I've got about 10 guys listed. I'll put all 10 of them in the into the Discord after this, but the over on Drummond looks fantastic. I don't know if you're in the Discord yet, GOAT, but the over on Drummond looks fantastic. Hartenstein over 21. I don't know if it's still 21. Let's look. Hartenstein over 21 is the best play in the slate. It's the best play in the slate. Unless Love is going to come out and play 35 minutes tonight, which I don't really know how we can expect that. This over 21 on Hartenstein is the best play in the slate. So over 21 on Hardenstein as a center, close to the basket shots, block opportunities, even better on Prize Picks. Again, if you're just tuning in, you could use the code SAL. It's linked down below. You could just sign up for Prize Picks. Very simple, over-unders. You could just turn, pretty simply, $100, $200 into $800. Just put the 4X, the 5X, the 2X, the 3X, all that type of stuff, depending on how many of these guys you want to combine together. I usually do 2 or 3 at most, but I know there's some people in the Discord that like to do the 5 and 10X and turn $50 into $100, and people are doing it rather often, like definitely a couple times a week, which is pretty good. So the over on Hardenstein looks good, the over on Drummond, and the over on Bobby Portis. But there's a lot that I like. I like the over on Dame. I like the under on Satoransky and Harrell. And Chris Boucher's in there as well with the over. Like a lot of these Toronto guys, like Boucher is going to look great on an over. Like I have him for over 3 points of that, but there's only upside for Boucher after that point. So let's start to look at some more. So let's see the exposures. If I use about 30% randomness, what some of these exposures I get are. So as of 2 hours or so until lock, this is around where my exposures currently are sitting. Fellas, give our boy Sal a like and a subscribe. Yeah, if you're here right now, maybe you're brand new, maybe you're chilling out, you're relaxing, you're maxing all cool on your Thursday, watching the Masters, just trying to find some last-second DFS NBA advice, just trying to find some people to chat with, whatever the fuck you're trying to do, be sure to subscribe. We're going to be doing these live streams. We do them daily. There's about 300 of you watching right now. I appreciate you all in here. We do these live streams daily. We'll be live tomorrow, video tomorrow morning. Maybe we'll do some stuff with the Masters in the afternoon, but it's going to be logistics. It's just tough. We don't have the strokes gain data for the Masters. The events end at like 6 p.m., so the turnaround time is tough. It's just tough to do any type of Masters content. But yeah, I'm happy that people in here also like Andrew Schultz and comedy, it seems. Do you have any Lakers as yeses today? Let us see if we have any Lakers as yeses today. I have no Lakers as yeses. I have 3 guys from the Lakers in a player pool. Actually, I have 1 guy from the Players. I was looking at the Clippers. Drummond is my only guy from the Lakers in a player pool, although I do think Caruso ended up making it the last time that I checked. So Caruso and Drummond. So I saw an article today. You can buy houses in Italy for $12,000. Easy flip for you. I heard you talking about real estate the other day. Yeah, I actually just got off the phone with not my financial advisor because I don't have one, but a guy that I thought potentially could be a financial advisor. I think I might just end up sticking with Vanguard and just do it myself because they make it very easy on there. But yeah, real estate is something that I'm definitely in a position right now to be able to take advantage of it. Like I'm seriously considering just buying a house in Austin, not for me to live in, as a real estate investment property, and then just use it as a content house, find other creators there, have people that are in the industry come through, do some betting content, just get more personalities involved. That is interesting to me if we can find the right place, the right price. But a lot of this is probably going to become more so realistic after this NFL season. NFL season, huge spikes in revenue. Not that this season is bad or anything like that from the business, but from like a security standpoint of next year, end of this year, early next year is probably when I'd more aggressively try to look into the real estate markets. But that idea came to me. I was dreaming of it. And then I actually woke up the next day and on a walk, I remembered the dream. I tweeted something out. And that idea is very appealing to me. It doesn't have to be in Austin, Texas. That's just where I'm going to be located in a couple of weeks. But just getting a house. I don't want it to be in like New York City area, although it makes it easier for people to come see me. Just a lot more people are in those cities, although I think people are fleeing now. But yeah, just getting some sort of content house is very appealing to me. Worst case scenario, I have a real estate investment property that I can then just rent out and have it pay for itself and then some, right? Best case scenario, it's a content house that I'm making money off of long term, off of the real estate investment property, learn a little bit about real estate and all that type of stuff, the process of that, and be just churning out content. People want to come over. They want to stay over. Oh, we got 3 bedrooms. Stay over. We're just making content all day today and tomorrow. We're live streaming us watching the Super Bowl, right? We're making some funny 3, 4, 5-minute clips together. We're doing shows together. I think that there's a lot of upside there. There's nothing like that in the industry. Like obviously Barstool's like the top of it. They're doing that all within house, but there's nothing that's just kind of like this house. I guess the only big issue would be like security. Like we can't have people knowing where the house is if it actually starts to become a real thing. But I guess that's a good problem to have. You just hire some big old security guards. Kendrick Williams or Bay? I'll take Kendrick Williams. Boucher or Holmes? Boucher. Any chance you could add an MLB optimizer? Yeah, it's something I've thought about. We'll have to see. I'll have to gauge at the end of April how much interest there actually is, or maybe in a week, how much interest there is in the MLB stuff. because the MLB stuff is just free. It's like an add-on. So if I was to add an optimizer, like that would cost me $500 to $1,000 a month just to support the MLB with the optimizer stuff, and it's a free product. So it's just a complete, outside of like retention, like business retention, keeping people on because they enjoy it. Outside of that, which there's definitely something to that, keeping value in the product, it's just like a 4-month dive of a couple $1,000 because I don't really want to charge for the MLB stuff. Maybe like next year moving forward, but like as I've stated before, like it's not much of a priority for mine. So I just wanted to add as much value as possible. Instead of making people pay more for the MLB, I'll just give it to everybody. So it's like more of a value. At night when I have you on YouTube and TV and my girl's in the other room and can hear you and keeps hearing Sal, she thinks you were talking to me since the same name she thinks I'm good at this shit. Was the last name? Sal Petro? Yeah, that's funny. I'll try and keep it down. Somebody says, imagine not covering MLB. Yeah, man, personal decision. No hate to the people who like the MLB and like to cover MLB, but my time, there's only one of me. And spending 2 to 4 hours a day covering the NBA is what I enjoy more, covering PGA. And then Porzingis is going to play today. Conley is going to play today, so we got some good news. Yeah, I mean, spending an extra 2 hours in my day to cover the exact same pitcher that pitched 5 days ago in the exact same lineup that's played every day, it's just not that appealing to me. I'll be honest. Like, I can give you I can cover the MLB right now without even paying attention to it. What is like? Let's ready. We'll give you. There's no skill, I would say, if you know how to do projections. So I guess there's some skill there, but there's not much out there. Like NBA, there's a pretty big difference in terms of like what the rotations have been lately. Always stuff changing. Oh, he only played 20 minutes. He's not a good play. No. You missed that. He got in 2 personal fouls in the second quarter, and that changes everything from a projection standpoint. MLB's obviously, I think, started most of their games. There's like a 7 o'clock game. What the hell was that? Did you guys hear that? The fuck was that? Something just popped. It was weird as shit. I don't know what the hell that was. You nailed the prize picks again. Nice man. Nice job, my man. Yo. But MLB tonight. You have over-unders in the Houston and Oakland game tonight. A 10 over-under. The team total is a 5.57. Obviously, there's going to be chalk on Houston with that high of a team total, but you can get different by playing the 7, 8, 9 hitters in a stack because they're cheaper, and then the 4 or 5 hitters. And just find the guys like that's the problem. Like covering MLB in the morning, there's just no lineups out. We can try and guess what the lineups are, but how good of content is that, right? So the lineups aren't out. The pitchers will be out, so you can talk about that a little bit, like how good they are, lefty, righty, strikeout percentage, all the same type of shit, right? What's their ISO, batted balls in play, the BABIP, all this bullshit, right? So there's ways to cover it daily, but it's just the exact same thing. So it's just not appealing to me. And at the end of the day, I just don't really like the MLB, like entertainment-wise. Can you pick 2? Siakam and Portis? Wait, Siakam and Portis. Updated top 10. My updated top 10 as it stands right now, I'll just include my yeses only. So the updated top 10. Let's put some other lineups on the screen. So the updated top 10 for me as it stands, let's actually put the top 10 on the screen. Fuck it. So this will be the updated top 10 if I take out any of the no's. So we'll put it up on the screen just so I don't got to read it all off. So as of right now, these are the updated top 10 yeses. I don't know if these are all going to fit. There you go. Perfect. There's the updated top 10 yeses as of 5:45 p.m. East Coast time. This is just based on a rating, a point per dollar metric, fantasy point projection, taking into account the price point. That is my rating on these guys. These are the updated top 10 yeses. There's not a lot of yeses on the slate for me. Just 14 right now. Might add 1 or 2 more depending on news as the day comes out. But this is the updated top 10 right now for me. Which Stanley Johnson, you might be saying second best play in the slate. No, he's just $3,000 flat, right? So let's not get it twisted. He's projecting out for less than 19 fantasy points for me, but he's $3,000 flat. The other thing is there's not a lot of studs to pay up for today, so you don't really have to play Stanley Johnson. I said earlier Stanley Johnson's not picking up that much ownership. I'm a little bit surprised that he's only going to be like single-digit owned. But at the end of the day, who are you paying up for, right? Like who are we actually paying up for today? Luka, I guess, at best. After that, who? Like, you're going to pair Luka with Jimmy Butler. You can do that without paying for a $3,000 flat guy, probably. That's even if you want to be doing that, right? So these are updated top 10 plays. Siakam, Boucher, and a small slate under 50 players, okay? Yep. Yo, Richard, what's up, boss man? How you doing? K-Love or Pokovetsky? I'll take K-Love's upside. What game will be high scoring? We can pull up the target offense sheet to see the highest scoring games. Highest scoring game, 231 total today between Utah and Portland, although they are now down Jordan Clarkson. I don't expect that to change the total too much. So here are some of the totals right here in this column. So high scoring games are going to be Utah and Portland today, Dallas and Milwaukee today. Those look like the 2 highest scoring games, and then Sacramento and Detroit. is going to also be a higher scoring game based on the Vegas implied totals. The Vegas implied totals. Your prize picks from this morning have moved. These guys must watch your videos. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they watch my videos or, a couple 100,000 people watch the video this morning, a couple people take it, and then it puts the prop up, right? Busy day at work, just now arriving. In any key news aside from Toronto and Clarkson? Not really, no. Porzingis is in, Conley is in, so no other key news. We're just waiting on a lot of news, right? We're waiting on a lot of news still. So the news that we are waiting on as it stands right now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Levine is in, so all these guys from Chicago are in. The news that we were waiting on right now, Giannis is doubtful. We're assuming that he's out, right? Kleber is questionable. Yusuf Nurkic is probably the biggest piece of news right now, and also Kyle Kuzma, who's questionable. Mason Plumlee as well. There's been some reports that Plumlee should play, so we're just waiting on news as it stands. As a Filipino, I get tired of Joe Coy too quickly. Yeah, I watched about a half an hour of one stand-up, so I can't judge his whole body of work, but I got kind of tired pretty quickly as well. There's just some outdated type of comedy. I don't want to say he's totally outdated, but when you watch some of the older stand-ups on there, there's just kind of a disconnect. For Utah, do you like Conley, Bogdanovich, or Clarkson? Clarkson is doubtful today, Jonathan, so definitely don't play Clarkson. I would take Bogdanovich. I don't like any of them. I'll be honest with you. I'll pull up Utah's minutes. I don't think I have either of those guys. Yeah, I'd rather get to Joe Ingles on that team or Royce O'Neal for the value. If you force me to pick one between Conley and Bogdanovich, it wouldn't be Clarkson, as he's doubtful. I'd take Conley. Vooch seems like a slam dunk against the Raptors today. Interesting. Slam dunk against the Raptors today. I think it looks like a decent play. Corey Holmcomb is the best. I'm not too sure who that is. Kevin Love's minutes will be capped to 20-something. Pokovil will get 30+, so I'd go Poka. Yeah, but I have Kevin Love at 26 minutes. He's a much better point per minute producer. When Kevin Love is averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute, and Pokovetsky, they're pretty close options, but Pokovetsky's price point is now up, right? He's not cheap $4,000 Pokovetsky anymore. He's $5,800. So, yeah, he might play 30 minutes today, but he averages 0.8 fantasy points per minute. So their production matters. Their production definitely matters. What do you think tonight, Stewart or O'Neal for the cheap? Stewart, if there's no Plumlee. Otherwise, go O'Neal. Somebody says, I love the Korean baseball. Plumlee versus Boucher. Give me Boucher. How about Cousins? I only have Cousins at 6 minutes tonight, so not really something that I'm looking to go to. Josh Jackson or Diallo today? Give me Josh Jackson as it stands right now. Came on 277 people in here, only 44 likes. Hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button. What's going on, Unicorn? How you doing, boss man? Hopefully you're having a lovely, lovely day. So let's pull up more of the lineups today. I want to actually do something. So we don't have to update any projections yet. I'm sure we probably will. So let's put on a massive amount of randomness. Let's put on 50% randomness and see what starts to happen to some of these lineups. If you want to check out the Big Energy Optimizer, you can. It is linked in the chat. Halliburton or Sexton? Give me Sexton today, my man. Give me Sexton today. That Sacramento team is just so efficiently priced. Sacramento is so efficiently priced every slate because there's just so many guys who do some stuff. Rise up. What's going on? George Carlin was a GOAT. Very good. Do you like Josh Richardson tonight? In a player pool, don't love. Corey Coleman is good, but Cat Williams definitely wears the crown. Cat Williams. Rise up. Pick 2, Dame, Spider, Mitchell, or PG-13. Give me Dame and PG-13. Dame, Mitchell I do like, but he's going to be really highly owned. He's probably not going to become a yes for me. Dame or Mitchell. If they're the first guy in your lineup, Mitchell. If you're looking to get different, Dame. Thoughts on Drew Holiday? Looks fantastic. There's really not much to say outside of that. What's your projection on Drew Holiday today? I have Drew Holiday projected for 40.6 fantasy points. So now we're going to add a lot of randomness and start to see what happens. So even in a lot of randomness lineups, you're getting guys who are not going to be massively owned, and these two still. You get Diallo as your lower owned option, but you're still getting a lot of Toronto, which makes sense. Here's Sadiq Bey, maybe a pivot. Joe Ingles is now a pivot, right? So interesting. Love the MLB rant, somebody says. Yeah. We in here. Haven't worked in 3 days. I've been chilling. Hey, we love to hear that. We love to hear that. Dalruski doesn't. Yeah, we have the top 10 plays. We put them on the screen earlier. I'll put them back on the screen right now. These are the updated top 10 plays. The 10th play will be Mason Plumlee. But that's basically the updated. Yo, my guy Sal just got here. What is your top 10 SuperDraft plays? And do you think Gasol is a must? What you project for him? I have Gasol playing 0 minutes tonight. My man Brumman be coming up in here and trolling. Top SuperDraft plays, though, a couple people asked. De'Aaron Fox, let's actually look at the SuperDraft contests. Because with the Masters going on, these things might not come anywhere near filling. Holy shit. Oh, this slate starts later, though. Yeah, okay, so this slate starts at 8 p.m. I was going to say, if this thing's going to start in an hour and it's only this much filled. So, as always, SuperDraft they're not sponsoring this program, but they are a partner of ours. And they never fill their contests. So 16% owned, but there's 2 hours and 10 minutes, but 16% owned. I mean, this thing should be the Masters is going to keep this thing low on tonight. So if you want to play in SuperDraft, there's a link in the description. You can use the code SAL and you can get some money matched. But man, track this. We'll track this in the Discord if we can remember. But this thing's only 16% filled, which is pretty fucking nuts. See if we can find so many different type of lineups. Like these ones are all Stanley Johnson, I guess. Boucher, Flynn plus Stanley Johnson, I met. Yeah, you can put those in a single entry. Real estate is where it's at, no questions. I agree. I know the best realtor in Texas, Sal. Is that going to be you? Is that going to be you? Buy Baltimore, Maryland. Is that true? What are you talking about? Let's get to the hoop. Jason, I can talk about anything I want, my man Jason Lincoln. This is an hour-long stream. We're going to be talking about basketball for 50 minutes. If there's 10 minutes in there that we talking about comedy and real estate and things like that, that's what you're going to get here. Here's the thing at the end of the day, my man. If you want to just go to a channel that just regurgitates the same NBA stuff over and over and doesn't take people's actual questions from the chat that people care about, and they just regurgitate all the information over and over, maybe there's some value in that for you. But we're going to give you all the information in a more appealing way, answer your specific questions so it's actually a utility to you, and then we're going to talk about some stuff that the chat or myself wants to bounce some ideas off of. That's what a personality is, not a robot. You know what I'm saying, my man? Would you play Hardenstein and Love together? I won't set a rule against it, but it's not a priority for me. Sal, just signed up on PrizePicks. What are your top 3 again? Rick Radar, happy to hear that you signed up. So I like Hardenstein over 21, Drummond over 28 if you have the cojones to take some risk if the minutes aren't there, and Bobby Portis over 28. Dame over 42 I also like. I'll put them all into the Discord at the end of the day. Rental property in Austin was expensive 20 years ago. Yeah, I know it's gotten really expensive the last 5 years. Rose, another birdie, firing on all cylinders. 6 under for Rose. Jesus Christ, this guy. Leonard, Jimmy Butler, or Middleton. Last guy in Middleton, but going to be a chalky option. Porzingis is playing. What does that mean for PrizePicks? Nothing changes. Been projected in Porzingis. Concerned that Vooch gives Baines more minutes instead of Boucher. No, they're down bodies. I have Boucher only at 26 minutes. Conley not listed on the injury report. Very nice. Halliburton or Sexton? Is the Greek playing? He is doubtful. He's doubtful. I would bet money somebody from PrizePicks pays for your projection, somebody said. I mean, honestly, maybe. I would not doubt it. But if you actually told me to give you an answer there, I would say no. Use your PrizePicks code yesterday, says Atlanta Bird fan. Happy to have you on there, my man. How you liking it? Kawhi a sleeper tonight? I think so. Higher fantasy scorers, Siakam or Mitchell? I'll take Siakam. Hey, Sal, what's your favorite race? What does that mean? Like race to run in? I've been trying to train for a half marathon for the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years, and I either COVID last year ruined it, or a year before that a back injury, year before that a concussion. Just been brutal. But I'm 2 weeks into the training this time. It's a 12-month training, so probably COVID will still mess some things up after that. MLB is okay, but not for DFS. Mine is the Indy 500. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you. Daytona and like Indy I couldn't even tell you races, my man. Sad, my guy, I haven't caught a live stream in a while. I'm pumped. Anthony, what's going on, boss man? Stanley Johnson, he can play 30 minutes and score 5 fantasy points. Yeah, he definitely can. Any interest in Corey Joseph revenge game? No. As a Raptors fan, bro, don't play Stanley Johnson. Man isn't a DFS player. Doesn't matter if he only has 8 bodies. Yeah. As I said earlier, he's projected below 19 fantasy points. He's $30,000 flat. You do with that what you would like. Are you placing any live bets on the Masters? Who you got to win after day 1? I don't have any live bets in right now. I can check like the overnight lines, but yeah, no. Without any strokes gain data, I'm probably not going to fire much live bullets. Like you're just kind of going off of a whim, right? But I can tell you one thing. I'm definitely not going to be somebody going to the counter right now to bet Justin Rose because he's the first-round leader. At this point, not even at the end of the first round. Booker or Mitchell? Give me Mitchell. Hey, Sal, Plumlee and Hardenstein or Boucher and Hardenstein? Boucher. Besides Johnson, any 3K flat players? Yeah, Giannis is Giannis Jr. Love your enthusiasm, Sal. Appreciate that. Could you imagine doing MLB every single day? Hell no. Yeah, I mean, I used to when I was trying to grind this thing up to build it up to something. Now I get to, try things that I want to do more. Sal, thanks, Paisan. Great cash last night. Appreciate all your work. Hey, we love to hear it. When you rate your players in your projections, do you consider their upside when you rate them? Yes. When using the optimizer, what is good projected points total to feel comfortable entering into single or 3 max? Yeah, I mean, what's going on, Richard? I mean, it's going to project out your highest projected lineups first, right? So, I mean, I would just, look through like the top 50 lineups if you're projecting them out and see the ones that stand out the most to you. But I wouldn't be going just for like the highest. I mean, you can go for the highest projected lineup if you want to, but you want to more so look at the details of that lineup. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it, right? Because like these projected lineups right here, they're literally only different by like half a fantasy point right there, right? Half a fantasy point. So it's not like they're totally different lineups. They're pretty close lineups projection-wise. So there's not a specific total. Every single night is going to be different depending on how much randomness you put on. Like if I don't put on any randomness, obviously the projection is going to be higher because I'm just playing the optimal lineup of like 300 points. Flynn is starting tonight. Alrighty. Dame or Luka for cash? Dame or Luka Doncic for cash tonight? I'll take Luka. Do you prefer in tournament Sexton and OG or Donovan Mitchell and Sexton and OG? My friend was about 100 yards from the finish at the Boston Marathon bombing. Damn, that's scary, man. Hey, Sal, Porzingis, Mitchell, or McCollum tonight? Mitchell. What do you think about Garland? I like Garland tonight. I like Garland on a lot of platforms tonight. I think there's a lot of upside in Darius Garland's cheap price point or relatively cheap price point. Giannis in the middle, youngest on the Lakers. There we go. You have to play both Drew and Middleton? No. What does Watanabe project for you? Like 16 points. John the Third donates $5 to the chat. He says, not a robot, my guy. I don't know. Did I call you a robot? What's going on, John the Third? I appreciate the super chat. Cantor or Boucher in the utility? It's going to be Boucher. Boucher or Harden on DK single entry. If I had to pick one, it would be right now. They're totally different builds, right? Like my answer, Hardenstein's going to like rate out better for me, but I still want Chris Boucher. Like Boucher's my number 5 play, Hardenstein's my number 1 play, but they're $1,300 difference. So I'll take Boucher's ceiling of like 50 or 60, which I don't think Hardenstein will have much of just because of the minutes. Booker or Mitchell? Mitchell. OKC down as many players as Toronto. Any value? I don't think they're down as many players as Toronto. OKC's going to have at least 10 bodies tonight. That's if Lou Dort and Bazley miss again. So they have 10 bodies tonight, and Toronto has 8. So not the same exactly. Ready for football to come back? NBA DFS is so frustrating. Yeah, we love to hate it, right? Alrighty, gang. I think I'm going to bounce in a couple of minutes. We've been live for about an hour. Get your final questions in. Like and subscribe before you bounce. Get up in on Patreon. Get up in on Patreon for sure. There's a link to Patreon right there. And be sure to get up in on this over Hardenstein. If you're watching right now, if you're not yet trying out, no better time than right now to try out Prize Picks because this over on Hardenstein is fantastic. My exact projection on Hardenstein is 27.97, and that's even lower because when you convert it for Prize Picks, the blocks are higher upside for a center, right? So he'll project out for me for like 29 Prize Picks points, and he's only at 21. So that's your best option there. If you're just getting in, some other options over on Drummond, over on Bobby Portis, over on Dame. Look good on those. Torian Prince or Caruso? Torian Prince. Dame and Diallo or Mitchell and Ingles? Dame and Diallo. Sad, I dream Ben Macklemore scored 33 points tonight. Do I lock him? Ben Macklemore tonight, huh? Who picked up Ben Macklemore? Is he even on this slate? These are probably questions that I should know. Ben Macklemore is not on this slate, so you should probably not lock him. I was like, who picked him up? Because I know he got waived. Yes, do not play Ben Macklemore tonight. It's a very good thing you probably shouldn't do. Kendrick Williams or Preston Williams? Kendrick. Do you like Cantor if Nurkic is out? Yes, very much so. Can you explain why you like the under on Harrell today? Andre Drummond is back. Harrell will be coming off the bench. If Drummond is actually in and playing 26 to 28 minutes, Harrell will play 20 to 22 minutes, and he will average like 1.1 fantasy points per minute, which gives him a projection for me around 24 fantasy points, 25 fantasy points. But there's a risk if Drummond only plays 24 minutes, and then Harrell's playing 26 to 28, he's going to get there. So that's your risk. My projection on Drummond's minutes is 27. I have Harrell around 20 or 21 minutes. If you think Harrell plays more than that, well, I would probably stay away from it. Bembry still decent value? No, Bembry is not playing today. He's suspended. When making a player pool, would you say excluding anybody projected less than 20 points? No. So Macklemore was picked up by the Lakers, but he's not in the player pool, so I would not lock him then. Why so heavy with the Toronto players? There's only 8 of them. There's only 8 Toronto players on tonight's slate, and a lot of them are underpriced, and a lot of them have some pretty decent ceilings, I would say, in terms of Siakam, Flynn, and Boucher have some pretty decent ceilings on them. Thanks again, Sal. No problem. Middleton, over good on Prize Picks. I'm not betting it over there. I think it's just solid where it's at already. Lakers got Macklemore. Okay, thanks. Siakam or Bam? Siakam. Wade or Diallo tonight? Give me Diallo. Siakam or Vooch? Siakam. All right, everybody. Peace out. Final questions coming in right now. I'm going to bounce. We went live for an hour. We'll be having a NBA video tomorrow morning. Live stream tomorrow, probably around 4:45 for an hour. Then I got to bounce. And then tomorrow afternoon, right now, no content. Maybe I'll start to make some NFL content starting next week, but probably not until May. So thank you for tuning in. You all rock. See you in the next one. Best of luck. This slate starts at 7:30 instead of 7, so you got an extra half hour today. The SuperDraft slate is not going to fill. That's going to start at 8. It's not even going to. Let's see where the SuperDraft slate's at right now. So we are 2 hours from SuperDraft lock with the Masters going on. So keep in mind, people are all infatuated with that. SuperDraft is currently filling at 16%. My guess is that this contest fills at 65%, which is crazy because if you enter a lineup, you beat 35% of the field. So check out SuperDraft. The link to this site is in the description as well. So this is pretty crazy. I'm going to potentially max this out if it's only at 65%. Favorite ED medicine. Yikes. Leave that like, people. Yeah, hit the like, hit the like, do all that type of stuff. You all rock, and I'll see you in the next one.